She is known as the Manhattan Madam, and her clients were some of the richest and most powerful people in the country, including a former governor of New York. Now, she says she has the largest little black book in the industry and has detailed her experiences in a new book called The Manhattan Madam, Sex, Drugs, Scandal, and Greed Inside America's Most Successful Prostitution Ring. Kristin Davis is our guest tonight. Kristin, you told me your mom's a fan of mine.
She's a huge fan.
What happened? I do not espouse these values. Somehow we got a disconnect.
My attorney says the same thing to her.
What does she think about what you've been involved in?
You know, she's supportive. She loves me unconditionally, so she doesn't judge.
I got that, but she doesn't like it. I mean, I love my kids unconditionally.
She's not happy. She saw her daughter in jail. I mean, what are you going to do about that? But she wasn't aware of what I was doing.
But did she want you to? Would she rather you not be a hooker
well, I wasn't a hooker. Yeah, a madam. I mean.
But at one time you were
in hedge funds.
Yeah. What's amazing transformation.
It was a business decision.
All right. Now, we watched this whole thing. It's amazing to me. And I interviewed Governor McGreevey. Here's the governor of New Jersey. He's picking up strangers at truck stops, in bookstores, having anonymous sex, and then leaving and going home to his wife. There's something I don't understand. The governor of New York, who was former attorney general, in both positions, having sex with strangers. Where's the disconnect? What am I missing here?
What I don't understand is why people don't understand. Look at what Clinton did. Like, how are we shocked that politicians have some sort of underground need, or, you know, what's the premise there? Everyone's shocked. I mean, look at what Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky. Like, you know, they have their needs, and they're going to fulfill them regardless of what society thinks or says about it.
But don't they know? They have to know the danger. They have to know the risk. They're in the public eye.
Of course.
I mean, if I called you, you might know who I am. And I'm thinking, all right, why would somebody take a baseball bat and for the rest of their life?
Ego.
Ego. Explain that.
So, I mean, you would call me and you would actually say,
I wouldn't call you.
Okay.
I would not call you.
Someone like yourself would call me and say, you know what? I'm a good guy. Google me. And you actually have told me to go look up who you are. You want my respect. You want for me to somehow set you up with the best-looking girl. You want a great experience. You really want me to know all about you, and I thought that was weird.
All right, but you write in the book about Spitzer, and he had a name. James is how you identified him.
Sure.
And from the very beginning, you didn't know who he was.
I didn't. I wrote about that in my book.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware. I mean, I didn't know what the Attorney General of New York, he was Attorney General then, looked like. I still don't know what he looks like now.
And the girls started complaining about him because he was abusive and aggressive.
Rough and aggressive, yeah. And you know, for what I did, I was very pro-women. Yeah. So if the girls complained, I tended to take their side. Nobody was ever fired for not doing something.
Right, but you had to call him. You had a conversation with him and said the following.
I said, you know what, I've had complaints from women, and I wanted to address this, so hopefully going forward we can curb this behavior. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about.
But with Ashley Dupree, there was this story that she was warned about Elliot, that he had this reputation, and her answer was, I'm a big girl, I can handle myself. And
you know what, the people who were professional, the women who worked for me who were pros, they could handle anything that came their way. But the new girls, the ones who were timid, and it might be their second or third clients, they don't know how to handle things like that.
You said, first of all, you have a who's who list. Why would you put their names in jeopardy? Why would you talk about people that were your clients? Look, I don't blame you as much as I blame them. Had they not put themselves in a moral position where they've compromised themselves, they wouldn't have the risk of you detailing who they are.
With no demand, there's no supply.
But why would you go ahead and do that, knowing that you're probably going to help to break up a family?
I haven't done that yet.
I haven't done that yet, but you came pretty darn close when you say a vice president of NBC Universal. All right, if I'm a vice president of NBC Universal, I'm scared to death today.
You know, I think that's why we chose the people that we chose, because we wanted to show that the people in power need to have some culpability for their actions.
But you made the money off them. So you made the money, now you're going to make more money.
Back. It's gone into the stimulus plan.
So you're a conservative hooker, or a conservative madam, to get it right. Would you want your daughter to be involved in this?
Probably not. I mean, but I don't have a daughter, so it's hard for me to put myself in that.
That's not hard. If you had a little girl, would you want her to grow up and have sex with strangers or be involved in the sex industry?
I would want her to do whatever she felt like she needed to do, and hopefully I would provide a life for her that she wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, but you never at any point felt any compunctions, moral conflict about what it was that you were doing?
I think I based that on the fact that I'd never forced anyone to do anything.
That they made the choice.
And I told them, look, you don't have to always have sex. You don't always have to have sex. If you can be charming enough to turn this into a date type of environment, and many of them were successful in doing so. These guys would start off with an hour and see them, and it's this gorgeous Victoria's Secret model. Well, they're paying for the experience, and it depends on how much they're paying, what their expectation is.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'm going to call your mother after the show. All right. Thanks for being with us.